If India was looking for change, it certainly got it. The man set to become the new Prime Minister of the world's largest democracy, Narendra Modi, has described the election results as no ordinary victory. The BJP on track to win by a landslide in the country's elections. Meanwhile, the Congress party, once the most powerful political dynasty in India, has already admitted defeat. Results are still coming in. They're coming in thick and fast, actually. But the latest we have for you from the Election Commission is that the BJP has won 168 seats. The Congress party has so far won just 29. It's predicted that the BJP could win a total of 284 seats, while the Congress may only have 44 seats in the new parliament. That is short of the 10% needed to become the official opposition. Well, let's take you to Babita, who joins us now live from Delhi with more of our special election coverage. And what a day, Babita. Did anyone expect the BJP would get such a resounding victory?
Lucy, thank you. Yeah, it's been an incredible day. Our day started here at 7 a.m. this morning. It is now 7:30 local time in the evening, and I can tell you it's been incredible. Lots of the projections, the exit polls, all the leads on the hundreds of Indian news networks here said that it was likely that the BJP party, the opposition party at the time, would get a lot of support in these elections, but nobody ever predicted that they would get a landslide victory. We are, of course, still waiting for those official results to come in, but it does seem that they will get possibly around 283 or 288 seats in the lower house of parliament right here behind me. And that is extraordinary. We haven't seen a landslide like that for a number of years. And as Sanjoy Majumdar now reports, the day has been marked as a historic day in India's political history.
Wild celebrations outside the BJP headquarters as the party heads towards a historic victory, the biggest by any political party in 30 years. As news of the scale of the win came in, the party grew bigger and the atmosphere more friendly.
Sanjoy Majumdar there reporting on what has been an extraordinary day here, of course. And it's interesting to note that when we found out that Narendra Modi was on course to become India's next Prime Minister, his initial reaction to that was to post his comments on Twitter, showing you how far social media has come in this country. He said, "India has won." That tweet has now become the most retweeted comment on social media ever in India. But how much of an impact has social media had on these elections? Well, here to discuss that, I'm pleased to say that we are joined by Shautik Biswas from BBC Hindi, and also we're joined by Raheel Khurshid from Twitter, the head of politics and government at Twitter as well. Is this a social media election?
Definitely. This election more than ever has established that young Indians are consuming their news, their politics from Twitter, and their leaders are filling that vacuum, that information vacuum, because you see, the government in the last 5 or 10 years produced information at the rate at which it had been producing information for a while now, but the consumption patterns of information have gone up a lot. So that's where we stepped in. And today, as you pointed out, Mr. Modi's first reaction to his victory was a short tweet, which has now crossed 56,000 retweets and has become the most retweeted tweet in the history of Twitter India.
But we should say, though, a caution to that, because in a population of 1 billion, there's only really 100 or 50 odd million people that are actually using social media. Shautik, I know that BBC Hindi have been looking at that, but how much chatter has been created on social media platforms centered around this election?
I think there's a huge amount of chatter. We can't deny that. There's been lots of chatter on Twitter, unprecedented chatter on Twitter, lots of chatter on Facebook. There was a study done last year, I think, which predicted that the social media could actually determine the outcomes in roughly 150 odd seats. But that remains to be seen. We have to do a lot more deep research to find out whether it affects the outcomes. But as far as chatter and raising consciousness and disseminating the story and the news is concerned, of course, I've never seen an election where social media has been used in such a way.
But there's a clear disparity between Congress and BJP here, because Rahul Gandhi, for example, doesn't even have a Twitter account. The Congress party do, he doesn't. Narendra Modi, prolific on Twitter. I mean, Google Hangouts, Facebook groups. I mean, why did Congress not get more motivated by this?
I think that's a question that the Congress needs to answer. From our point of view, the benefits of being on social media are very clear for Mr. Narendra Modi, as well as for, say, for the Aam Aadmi Party, which just 2 years ago was a street movement and now is a political party. They won the Delhi election based on a very, very strong social media strategy. And just to add to the point that Satik made, it's not just like the fact that there are just 150 million people on the internet. The other way of looking at this is that tweets travel far and wide. Every newspaper in the country and every television outlet carries these tweets, right? So the impact that these messages have in terms of amplification is a lot more than just restricted to the platform on which they're posted. And there are several other innovations in place by which people who are not even connected digitally are consuming as Twitter via SMS, for example.
There's one thing that struck me, though, Shartik, in this whole process is that use of social media, these tweets, Facebook posts, they're essentially free, if you like. But the BJP spent an extraordinary amount of money on their campaign, didn't they? I mean, social media could have an impact, perhaps a more significant one, in the next general election.
Oh, yes, absolutely. I remember Narendra Modi on a stump speech outside Varanasi in a village was talking about social media. And I was wondering how many people really understood what it was. But, you know, I look at social media as some kind of a digital tea shop. And Indians are very argumentative. They love to chat. And I think social media is just meant for India, especially Twitter and Facebook and things like. And as we go along, I think that the influence of social media and the spread of social media will increase with, better broadband speeds, cheaper broadband available. Because India is just waiting for it. This is the digital tea shop. Indians love to collect at tea shops and talk, and this is the social media is just a digital tea shop.
It was all about that chai and chatter, wasn't it, in these election campaigns? Looking ahead now to social media then, I just want to ask you both, I mean, reaction on this is going to be incredible. Lots of people talking about it, but are we really mainly talking about the young voter here in India? Raheel?
We are mainly talking about the young voter, but at the same time, we're also talking about an age group, say, 32 to 45, 48. It's not just that the young, of course, increasingly, but I think across a range of ages, Indians have taken to social, to, as I said, consume news. We've basically, the fact that if you take any metric, be it the content consumed, be it news breaks, be it the influence on public discourse, we basically, the public conversation on our platform has steered our platform to the center of this election as far as conversation is concerned.
Shartik, I mean, in the future we are talking about how these elections in particular have, well, the political parties have wanted to embrace the 100 million odd new voters in this election process. Social media is perhaps an opportunity for politicians to do that in a way that's never been done here in India before.
I think, yes, absolutely. I'll give you a small anecdote which is unrelated to elections. 3 years ago, I was traveling in the villages of Punjab, doing a story on how young people were eloping and traveling hundreds of kilometers to meet their girlfriends and all. And all of them were hooking up on Facebook, on a cheap feature phone Facebook app. Now, that was 3 years ago. And imagine the power of the social media when it comes to disseminating messages, collecting, and in terms of political canvassing.
Do you know, the last time I was in Delhi, a long time ago, it was all about getting into those rose gardens and sending letters. It's now all about Facebook
it's all about
and Twitter,
Facebook
isn't it?
Absolutely.
I'm showing my age. I'm so out of touch. To both of you, thank you very much for joining us. So a social media election here remains to be seen, as we've just been hearing about what impact that will be. But I'm just going to leave you with one little piece of information, a fact that I can part with you. Narendra Modi has 4 million Twitter followers here in India. He is second politician in the world to have that many Twitter followers. Second to who? Barack Obama. Back to you in London.